Hi, Gloria Liebecker here with Healing You. Today I have spent some time reflecting on why do I have resistance to writing? And I've noticed I've had this resistance, and I've called it different things over the years, like writer's block, being stuck, uninspired. When I would sit down to write or be invited to do something with writing, I would notice a resistance that would come up right away. And so today I decided to do something different, to see if I could unpack it in a new way. And I'd like to share that process with you. So the first thing I did is I journaled about it. I wrote down something that was feeling really uncomfortable for me. And so what that is resistance to writing. And the next step I had was to notice what were the predominant feelings that came up when I was feeling that resistance. So I really slowed down to get just the right flavor of the feeling, of the emotions. So first was resistance. And that resistance felt really uncomfortable. I felt uneasy. There was a sense of distance and a slight flavor of like part of me felt numbed out and guarded. And I thought, wow, that was kind of interesting, just even that first layer, to take the time with that. And so what I did is I distilled that down then into what is the shadow belief that comes from those feelings. And that came down to having a sense of not enough, lack. And also a fear about a situation or an outcome. It's like part of me was just scared to write. And because of that fear, then I just really couldn't feel like there was anything I could write. So the next part of the journey, this is the time travel part for me, is really slowing down and to breathe deeply right into my heart space. Our hearts are so powerful. They do have brain cells in them, and the electromagnetic energy of them is so much more strong and powerful than that of the mind. And so when you can really drop into your heart center and generate that warmth and the power of love, it's tremendous. So breathing deeply into my heart and just really asking for what is the earliest memory that I have felt these feelings, this resistance. And then just waiting, just without expectation, but to really remain open-hearted to receive that which is ready to emerge. And for me, that is so helpful to really touch my heart and to breathe in and out from my heart space and to just wait for as long as it takes. And so what I did is I did just that, just waiting, holding my heart, breathing in and out, trusting that what was ready to emerge would emerge. And what came up for me was an image of when I was 14. And I was in my room. I can totally see my whole room in an instant. And I haven't thought about that room for a long time. I had a couple windows that faced out over the front yard. It was an upstairs room. And it had brown wood all around in it. And I had a carpet. And so right in front of the window, where I had a carpet, is where I would hide my journal. So at 14, there were things going on in my life that were really uncomfortable, and they felt scary, and I had a lot of doubt and uncertainty and didn't believe I had anywhere to turn. And so I would write in my journal. My journal was my best friend and my confidant, and I would write everything out. I would be very detailed, and I would change names to protect the innocent. Or so I thought. So this day, I had gone to my room because I was going to write in my journal, and when I pulled back the carpet, my journal was gone. I was just in a bit of a panic. I had no idea who could have taken my journal or where it was, and I didn't have anyone I could even turn to. I couldn't even say that it was gone because I didn't even think anybody knew I had one. So as a result of that experience, what I ended up believing about myself is I really believed I couldn't write anymore, that I am unsafe, and that someone is out to get me. And I didn't know who. So I really had the need. I really needed safety. I really needed a sense of security. And so I slowed down, again, to drop into my heart space and to acknowledge how grateful and surprised I was. I was surprised and then grateful, to be really transparent, because I hadn't expected this to pop up. I hadn't understood how they were linked. And so I could see how this pattern was inviting me to allow this aspect of my life to heal. So the next part of what I did is I slowed down to really notice how this belief had created a pattern that was ongoing throughout my life journey. And I recognized that it's not serving me now, that when I want to be able to write, I would like to be able to actually write rather than feeling this resistance and uncomfortable and numb and guarded and uneasy. So then, again, using the power of the heart to slow down and to really be with my experience, to be aware of my younger version of me, and to allow myself to become aware of the wave of potential that this particle, that this moment in time had risen out of. And for me, what that's like is I wrote about it, and I wrote that I could feel a surge of warmth in my heart as I could see the panic in my child's self, and her tenderness and her transparency in her journal was innocent and filled with her truth. And that truth needs to be heard with a soft warmth and tenderness and lots of care. And in that moment of just having that felt sense of that warmth and that care and that tenderness that could cradle the child that had panic, and to lift it up, that this spark of potential, that it was able to kind of float and swell, and then with sparkles come and just melt back into the whole wave of potentiality. And then ripples, just letting all of the ripples just wash all over me, all over my life, just bringing in lots of blessings of a peace that's so profound. The next part of my journey was to go back and allow myself to reimagine and to rewrite the story. And I was like, wow, okay, that's possible? What would that look like? So again, this is, for me, a mixture of time travel empathy and also allowing the empathy to be so profound that it's like empathy angels can emerge. And my very own empathy angel that actually comes in the form of myself, present day self, can time travel back to my younger self. And not only can my younger self have this support, but also others in my world at that time could also have that support. So I imagine that. And what I wrote is I came home at 14. I came home and went to get out my journal, which had become my best friend and confidant next to my horse. And it was missing. Startled and a bit panicked, I rose, and turning, I heard a knock on my door. It was my mother. Gently, she asked permission to come in, asking if she could speak with me. I said yes, and so we sat on my bed, and then she asked for my forgiveness for going through my room, saying she was worried about me and uncertain what else to do, and yet acknowledging it was an invasion of my privacy, and she really regretted that. She held out my journal to me, giving it back, and asked if I would be willing to trust her to help me, that she knows that my life had been hard, but that together we could find a new way. So out of that, I really can feel the heart of my mother, who would wish nothing less for me, her daughter. And so the new message I receive from this practice is, I am innocent, I am loved, I am believed, and I am supported. And so then actually to expand that quantum field of life and of time, and to allow the blessing of this particle to transmute all the way across time, space, dimension, and reality. And what that looks like for me is I write, my mother finds a warm, caring practitioner who listens deeply to my heart and supports my whole family to develop the mindsets and the skill sets needed to have clear, resonant communication. And I am empowered by the neuroception of safety to soak up new learning and also to dare to adventure in my life and dream big, knowing nothing is against me anymore. I know life is for me. I am innocent. I am loved. I am believed in, and I am supported each step of my journey. Well, as you could tell, I did have another wave of emotion that rose through me, and in the experiencing of this, it was just take the time, just be with the experience and allow it to just permeate every cell and fiber of my being. And then coming back to that moment, the triggering moment of just sitting down to write and feeling that resistance. What is the unmet need that I had right in this moment? And there it was. A feeling of safety and security, needing the experience of self-love and connectedness, and also a sense of innate worthiness. And so taking another moment to drop into that powerful heart center, into remembering who I have come here to be. And what is that quantum field energy that's going to support me and that would have supported me had I been standing in it, and I wouldn't, rather than being diminished by the trigger. And that quality of energy is loving and spirit-led. So now I get to do another rewind of time, only it's just back to this morning. And so as I sit to write in my journal, I pause to take a loving breath into my heart, knowing I am not alone. I am spirit-led and accompanied in all ways. My heart opens and I easily express my truth transparently, empowered by the divine energy of creation. So there's just a smoothness that comes throughout my whole core. It's a marvel to experience. So as I reflect on this new I am energy, and to see, well, what opportunities do I have now to take authentic action to really kind of seal that repair deep in my soul. And so my request to myself was, would I be willing to make a video that would be sharing my joy around what it's like to receive the gifts of the Spirit in this way? That gift of really allowing gratitude to swell and grow and expand beyond belief. And that, my folks, is a groundswell. A groundswell is something that wells way up from deep within yourself that could never be diminished because it's who we come here to be. So my question for you is, who have you come here to be? And what quality of heart energy, of your own sacred values is going to support you on your next steps? Take time to be in your heart, if that resonates with you, and receive the gifts that are waiting. And you can reach out to me at healingyouShow.com. Thanks for being on this journey with me.